أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Madam Chair, Commissioners, Lead Counsel, Assistant Counsel, viewers and listeners, members of the press, good morning. Welcome back to our daily proceedings of this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Without further ado, I have the honor to yield the floor to Madam Chair for our next item on our today's agenda. Madam Chair, over to you.
Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. I will call on Honorable Sila to lead us in Muslim prayers and Honorable Joyner to lead us in Christian prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Almighty God, you sent your only Son, Jesus Christ, to save us from our sins. We thank you for this new day and ask that you show us how we can honor you and bring glory to your name. Give us grace and mercy, guidance when we are not sure which way to go, and wisdom to trust you in all things. For your love brings light and life to all who seek it. May we seek you more as we walk with you through this Holy Week and beyond. Give us ears to hear you and eyes to see as we commit our plans into your care for execution. Cover us with the blood of Christ as we avail ourselves to be used by you alone this day and forevermore. Amen.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. You may kindly take your seat. Mr. Witness, for continuation of your testimony before this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters, I want to remind you that we are still on the oath before I hand you over to Madam Chair for us to proceed. Thank you. Madam Chair, over to you.
Good morning, Mr. Jobate.
Good morning, Madam.
You're welcome back.
Thank you.
So, Jobate, do you have the cover note for the file that you want to submit?
Yes, yes.
Can you read out what you have in the file as stated in the cover note?
What I have in the files are memorandum of understanding.
Please speak into the microphone and increase your voice, please.
Yes, what I have in the files are the memorandum of understanding, B.C.C. Austin Webster, dated 31st May 2020. Acceptance letter of contracts 15 January 2021. A technical report, site identification, works aptitude report 25th July to 22nd August 2020. Monitoring of bird species, officer report from July to December 2021. Officer technical report sensitization and anti-littering bill. Officer technical report January to June 2020. West African Bird and Western School Nursery Initiative Program. Work plan January to June 2020. Monthly allowance January to June 2020 for Lamin Jobate. Monthly allowance for volunteers 31st January 2020 to 28th June 2020 for the volunteers. Sensitization on waste management payment list 10 February 2020. Quarterly cleaning 27 May 2022. Mangrove planting 4 June 2022. Monthly allowance for Lamin Jobate July 28 July 2022 to 30 December 2022. Monthly salary for volunteers 31st July 2022 to 30 December 2022. Cleaning exercise 19 January 2022, 28 July 2022, and 18 January 2022. Cleaning exercise 10 December 2022 and 9 December 2022. Mangrove planting at Nangan 6 August 2022 and 5th August 2022. Mangrove notice receipts on the 8th, 5th 2022. Receipts 5th June 2022, 27 2022, 14 2022, and 6 2022. Saron Nursery 9th June 2022. Oneness Build 5th June 2022. Jiba Star Farm Ltd 4th June 2022. Receipts for school nurseries 5th June 2022 up to 21st June 2022. And the receipts of the school nursery continues up to 29 June 2022. Monthly allowance for Lamin Jobate 28 February 2023. Monthly allowance for the volunteers 31st January 2023. Monthly salary for the volunteers 31st January 2023.
Right, thank you. Can we have the file, please? We apply to tender the WAPSA B.C.C. Ostender Project sensitization file from for January 2022, together with the cover note of the list of documents submitted by Mr. Lamin Jobate, Executive Director of WAPSA, to the Commission of Local Government, into evidence as an exhibit. All this ability. Only one.
A cover note of the list of documents submitted by Mr. Lamin Jobate, Executive Director of WAPSA, to the Commission of Local Government Inquiry. This cover note is signed by the witness, Lamin Jobate, and attached to this letter is the file for the period 2020 22 from January. This file is admitted in evidence together with the cover note as exhibit in evidence, and it is marked as LGC/BCC/LJ/004.
As the commission places. That's all for this witness.
Mr. Jobate, thank you for coming. In the event that we go through the documents and we need to clarify issues from these documents, we will call you to do so. Thank you. You are discharged.
Good morning, Mr. Witness.
Yes, good morning.
You can stand here, face that camera. Welcome to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters. Mr. Witness, in which language do you wish to make your testimony?
English, please.
Can you speak into the mic?
English, please.
What is your religion?
Islam.
Do you wish to swear by the Holy Quran or make an affirmation?
Affirmation, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The witness wishes to make an affirmation. Raise your right hand up and then repeat after me. I, Alfusainey Ganno, do solemnly, sincerely, and truly declare that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you. You may be kindly seated. Madam Chair, the witness is sworn. I have the honor to hand over the witness to for us to proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Ganno.
Yes, good morning, ma.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Counsel, you may proceed.
Mr. Ganno, please state your full name.
My name is Alfusainey Ganno.
Your address?
Sancha Basule Job.
What is your educational background, sir?
Say that again, please.
Your educational background.
Okay, currently I'm doing my master's degree. I had a B.C.C from the University of the Gambia, and I did my high school in SOS High School. My primary school was done in Sukuta Primary School.
Is that all?
Yes, sir. But of course I did some series of some diploma courses along the way.
Along the way?
Yes,
How
please.
many diploma courses have you done?
The diploma in management.
One.
Yes.
Any other? You said some.
That is what I can remember right now.
I heard you say some diploma courses, so I thought you had been certified in several diploma programs. So only one?
Yeah, that is what I can remember as of now.
The others you can't remember?
Say that again?
The others you cannot remember?
Yes, unless I check my CV. Because I mean, like, when in your profession, when you are doing, like, at work, sometimes you have your 1 week diploma training, you know, those kind of in-house trainings.
Right. But you don't have a degree, no?
Yes, of course I do have a degree. Okay. I have my B.S.C in management.
Okay.
And right now I'm doing my master's as well.
Right. Where do you currently work?
I'm doing private work.
Now, you were at some point appointed as the project manager for the B.C.C Ostender project.
Yes, sir.
Were you appointed?
Yes.
Do you have your appointment letter?
Yes, I do. And
what was your work experience prior to being appointed the project manager for the B.C.C Ostender project?
I spent about a decade work in youth and development circles. Then I also work for the Gambia Red Cross Society as their development and branch manager, Gambia Red Cross Society. Then from there, I also work for the National Youth Council of the Gambia as the communication and advocacy officer. And I manage an international local NGO. Then, of course, I also work within the youth work in different international bodies, like the Youth Employment Summit, and the others are just voluntary organizations along the way.
We applied to tender the letter of appointment dated this 22nd of June 2020. Is the date is 2nd of March 2020. It says appointment as project manager EU Banjul Austin project. And the 22nd of June 2020 letter is confirming the witness to the position of project manager from Banjul City Council to be admitted into evidence and marked as an exhibit.
A letter dated the 2nd of March 2020, it has reference 9/B.C.C/73 in brackets 1/volume 1. It is addressed to Alfusainey Ganno, Sanchaba Sule Job de Gambia. It has the caption Re, appointment as project manager EU Banjul Osten project. It is signed by Fatou Tal, Deputy CEO. It is copied to the Mayor, the CEO, and a file copy is maintained. The second letter is dated the 22nd of June 2020. It has reference 4/BCC/EU/73 in brackets 1/volume 1. It is addressed to Alfusainey Ganno, and it has the caption letter of employment. It is signed by Mustafa Bacheli, CEO of Banjul City Council. These two letters are admitted in evidence as exhibit, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/AG/001.
As the Commission places, may I please have the exhibits? As at the time of your employment as project manager for the B.C.C. Osten project, what was your experience in managing projects?
Yeah, I have been managing project for the past 5 years before that with the Gambia partners.
Gambia?
Gambia partners.
Gambia partners?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a Norwegian charitable organization. Norwegian charitable organization,
yes,
which was established in the Gambia. I'm looking at education, employment, and health. So we have projects in Sanyang, a very big skill center, and also a health center in Kiang Nema. We have water project in Jelungkunda and in Nema Batili.
Yes, that is your experience.
Yeah, of course, the Gambia Red Cross, it was a project I was managing. That was my first employment. For 3 years, the Icelandic Gambia project I was managing.
How long was the Gambia Red Cross project?
It was a 3-year project.
3-year project?
Yeah.
Right. And what was the project about?
Say that again?
What was the project about?
On humanitarian activities.
Right.
Yeah. Because basically Red Cross look about humanitarian activities, needs of people, and alleviating suffering of the people.
Right. Do you have your employment letters for these projects that you have managed?
Yes, I do have them.
Can you present this one?
Can I provide them later on, please?
When? What?
I didn't bring them right now.
Please, you can write it down. We will need you to produce this employment letters.
But I have the soft copy on my laptop.
Just take your time. We will need you to
all right, thank you.
Produce them.
Okay.
How were you appointed?
For which one?
This B.C.C. Osten project.
34 months. 34 months. 3 years less 2 months.
How were you appointed?
How? It was through an advertisement on the local newspaper. I saw the job advert and I applied for it. So I was called for, my name was shortlisted, so I was called for an interview at B.C.C, which I did. After the interview, I was called.
Who interviewed you? Who interviewed you?
It was a panel of more than 7 to 9 people.
And who was in the panel?
The panel, by then I didn't know them because I know nobody in BC. But later on, after working with them, I interacted with them.
Right.
So there was Fatal in the panel.
Right.
There was, I think, Sandy Ginjai. I'm not sure with that 100%, but I assume he was there. We have Dauda Jones, who was the clerk of council, was there. We have one, I think he was the admin director, still there, Yusufa Jallo. We have, of course, 2 people from the city of Osten, Peter, and the other one was a white lady. I cannot remember her name. And we have Did I mention the CEO?
Fatal, the deputy CEO.
No, the CEO, Bachili.
Bachili, no.
I think Bachili was there. And the other 3 people, I cannot remember.
You can't recall.
Yeah. But there are more people than that, those I mentioned.
Okay, so 7 in total.
Yeah, between 7 to 9.
7 to 9. You recall that is given 3 statements to the investigators?
No, 2.
2? Sorry, 2.
Yeah.
Right. The first is dated the 4th of September 2023.
So, yes, I remember that.
We have 3. We have 4th September 2023, 26th of September 2023, and the 10th of October 2023. Can you confirm that?
6th of September, I cannot remember.
4th September, 26th September, and 10th October. All in the year 2023.
Oh, yes, I do remember now. Yeah, that is true.
Right. Please go through the statements.
Okay, Abel. Yeah. Yes, Council, and I confirm, I hereby confirm the statements were mine.
We thank you. We apply to tender 3 statements from the witness Alfusainey Ganno. The first is dated the 4th of September 2023. The second, 26th of September 2023, and the third is the 10th of October 2023 to be admitted into evidence and marked as exhibits.
The statement dated the 4th of September 2023 made by the witness. The second statement was made on the 26th of September 2023, and the third statement was made on the 10th of October 2023. These 3 statements are admitted in evidence together as exhibit, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/AG/002.
As the Commission places. Now, this B.C.C. Ostend project, what is it about?
It is a project aimed at creating sustainable, to bring sustainability in 5 key components within the project. And the project was a because the project have phased out, so I'm saying was, a 3.1 million euro project between the city of Austin and the city of Banjul.
When you say it's phased out, in what sense? Is it completed or was not completed?
I wouldn't know because I didn't close the project down. The project extended after my contract.
Okay.
So I will stop where
your contract was not renewed?
My contract ended in December 2022.
Yes, so it was not subsequently renewed? It was not subsequently renewed?
It was not, I didn't seek for extension.
Why? Is there any reason?
I wanted to move on with my life.
What do you mean by that?
I wanted to do something different.
Yeah, but what is the reason? You wanted this job, you applied for it, and then you would have seen the project to continue up to its closure or achieving the goal. Why would you decide to just, after probably, is it 3 years you worked with them?
Yeah, 3 years.
3 years, and you don't want any renewal. Did they offer you a renewal? Were you offered a renewal?
No, we didn't get to that level. I was not offered and I didn't seek for it.
Okay, we will come back to this, so please proceed with respect to.
Okay.
Yes.
So I can continue. The Citylink Austin Banjul project was for the sustainable development, and the project was looking at 5 key areas.
Right.
Okay, one of the area was good governance. Okay, and
Yes.
the other one was looking at creating a sustainable development center in Crab Island.
Are you reading from a document?
No, I'm looking at the dates. I don't want to give wrong dates here.
Okay.
So it's good to use the reference on dates because this was about 5 years. I cannot remember the dates.
You may proceed.
Okay. So, and the third one is the effective waste management.
Yes.
And the fourth one is making greening. We call it the greening component of Banjul.
Yes.
And the last one is the health component of the project. So these were the 5 key components of the project.
Yes. Now, what about the governance part of the project?
Yeah, the governance look at I'll take you through this start of the project.
Yes.
When the concept was developed.
Right.
So they realized there was a gap within the B.C.C. and Banjul in its entirety. I mean the project concept itself. What we
can get back there.
Okay. Is that much better?
Yes.
Okay. So the good governance was aimed at creating that gap, filling the gap, which was there. So the good governance look at the training of councillors, training of city actors, integrating the city program people within the project framework itself. Number 2, Crab Island.
No, before you proceed.
Okay.
The good governance part, how was it? Do you have a project plan for all these
Yes.
different components?
What happened is we have a very massive document.
Right.
Called the project document itself.
Okay.
In its entirety. It's about 247 pages.
Yes.
I can forward it to them if they want to print it. It is very rich. It has a lot of materials and information within it, yeah?
Right.
About the project, it's in entirety.
Right.
Okay. So there were activities highlighted under that component of good governance, like training of councillors, filling the gap within the B.C.C. Okay, and also that is where also B.C.C. as the structure fall in, digitalization of the B.C.C. head office.
Right.
So these were different components on that. I'll put it. Let's use the word activities under this component of good governance.
Please write it down. We will request for the project document.
Okay. So there are a lot of activities
Yes.
under that component, but in the project document, they were all highlighted.
Okay.
You know.
Now, were the components under the good governance implemented or achieved?
Yes, there were some. You know, it's gradual because you divide it into 3 years.
Right.
You know, year 1 you implement these activities, year 2 you implement this, year 3 that's how it works. So of course there are most of the activities were implemented.
Okay. We'll wait for the document and we proceed along those lines. So the second component?
That is Crab Island.
Yes. What about the Crab Island?
Developing Crab Island to make it a sustainable hub. Like transforming Crab Island, because at some point Crab Island was not being used.
Yes.
You know, so the structure was there, it was dilapidated and things like that. So it needed to be renovated, and also a lot of activities were established
Those
under
examples?
this project.
Examples of those activities?
Like we needed to have startup activities there.
What kind of startup activities?
Bike repair. There need to be these women, we call them weak women in the hand and they deal more with hand issues, like turning a tire, used tire, creating, you know, some creativity around it and make it reused, you know. And there is this also, I think, making charcoals.
Right.
You know, so there are a lot of activities that were supposed to be done. And of course, in Crab Island, we needed to have the radio station there.
Yes.
We needed to have the multi-purpose hall, fit for purpose, you know, which could be used by Banjulian for different activities. And we also needed to have a recording studio. So all these were activities that we are supposed to have.
And all these are supposed to be achieved as per the budget of the project.
Say that again, please.
And all this were supposed to fit within the budget.
Yes. It should be within the budget.
Do you have the budget?
No. But it's
We will need. Go ahead.
finance will be able to provide that.
Yeah. So as the project manager, we will need you to provide us with the budget.
Yes, that I will be able, because normally, you know, this correspondence, sometimes they can send you an email where the budget is attached. Yeah, but I wouldn't know whether it is the final use budget. That one, I think finance will be in a more position.
The final used budget. What do you mean by that?
No, I mean at some point, when we are sending each other emails,
Yes.
documents are always attached.
Yes.
But you will not know which one, but some of this document, we work on it gradually.
Right. But
So-
the approved budget, as the project manager, you would know that this is the budget I am working with
Yes.
as the project manager.
Yeah, when the project started.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So therefore, unless there are alterations in the budget, there are supplementary budgets. The approved one, you will definitely know this is the approved budget for the project. It was what I was working with for the 3-year period. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what
the
we need.
first one, which was approved when we started. Yes.
So we need
That
was there any supplementary budget at some point?
Yet at some point by the last quarter of the project,
Right.
before I left, so there were some amendments done to the budget because there was realigning of activities. There are some activities which we realized would not be achieved.
Right.
They were too ambiguous,
Yes.
and some ones which were more realistic.
Right.
You know, so there were realigning of the activities and realigning of the budget. That was done in the last quarter
Was that supplementary budget approved as well?
by the EU.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
All right. So we need that. We need the budgetary tools you were working with as at the time you were there for the 3-year period that you were the project manager.
Okay.
Right. So please proceed with your second component. So with the Crab Island, what was done during your time?
Some of the activities, like harnessing of the bees to make honey,
Yes.
that was being done. And of course, there were and the renovation, because most of those activities.
And the renovation?
Yes.
Crab Island was renovated during your time?
It was being renovated.
What does that mean? Was it the process?
Yes, it have started. So the renovation was going on.
Was going on?
Yes.
You had a contractor that was identified?
Yes, it
Who was the contractor?
The first contractor was Eco Farm, and the second one was Jallo Kolong.
Second one was?
Jallo Kolong.
Okay.
Jallo Kolong.
Yes. Were they all issued with contracts for the renovation?
Yes, yes, they were.
Okay. And of course, the contract will spell out everything they need to do, the financing of the project or the renovation therein. And we will need the contracts for these two contractors.
Okay, I will check within the emails, because how it works, maybe can I take you through the process?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Procurement take care of all those things, the paperwork, because that's not the function of the project manager.
Right.
You know. So what happened is, when those are done, we have what we call, and I created this email whenever I'm sending email, because my line of reporting is the project manager take care of the day-to-day activity of the project.
Right.
Maybe that's where I should have started.
Right.
And you have the project coordinator
yes.
who is there. Let's use the word boss.
Yes.
Yeah, for the sake of clarity.
Right.
Then you have the B.C.C. there. This
as the steering committee. They comprise.
Yes. Okay. So we have the project team here,
Right.
which is the day-to-day those who do the work, and myself with Mamlai and the rest of the staff.
Right.
I'm talking about the coordinator. Then you have the B.C.C., which is headed by the admin level headed by the CEO, and the political level headed by the Lord Mayor. So they established a steering committee. So and you have the city of Austin at the other side.
Right.
So this was so intrigued within the project itself, because city of Austin are the guarantor of the fund, not the city of Banjul.
Yes.
So what happened, they have a joint application of this grant.
Yes.
And the city of Austin became the lead. Maybe B.C.C., when they come, they will clarify this more.
Yes.
But as the project manager, I get involved, so I have an idea about this. Okay? Because I interacted with the city of Austin at some point. So when they went to look for this funding at the EU, so the funds were approved.
Yes.
And divided into 3 payment systems that will come under finance. They will explain how it works. But these funds were never paid to the city of Banjul. They are paid to the city of Austin. When they signed the first contract, or the, make some reference here. I'm not good with figures, so if I don't look, I'll give you wrong figures. The first pay finances was 1,101,430 euros.
From the EU?
From the EU, paid to the city of Austin.
Proceed.
Okay? So when this is done, now the city of Austin and city of Banjul have to work how these funds are being transferred. So they will also divide it into quotas, so that when you implement Banjul, you report, they okay it, they can release little again. So, but this have nothing to do with EU. EU have already given it to city of Austin, because they are the fund guarantor. If anything goes wrong with the fund, city of Austin will refund EU.
Yes.
Okay. So the second payment was 1.5 million euro.
Making it 3 million.
Say that again?
Making it 3 million euros.
Yeah, yes. And the last balance of 300,000, EU will not pay that to city of Austin until when the project phase out, reports are written, auditors are sent to okay it, then they will release it. So meaning city of Austin should pre-finance that 300 on their own.
Yes.
So if EU okay everything, then EU will refund them.
Yes.
If they have an issue, they lost the money. So that's why
Yes.
we had City of Austin at the other side also, who have direct the involvement.
Yes.
So this was the structure. So at some point, what I did was, whenever the staff needs something, according to the bar, they have to request. So
Who do you request to?
No, when they come, I request to the project coordinator.
Yes.
Like everything, I just send request.
Yes.
At first, it used to be our project coordinator here in the Gambia, who will okay or not okay, and send it to the CEO.
And who was that?
CEO is Mr. Bachili.
Yes. And the one who was the project coordinator at the time?
Say that again.
Who was the project coordinator?
Mamla Jase.
Right.
Okay. And finance, they take care of it. So what happened in B.C.C, they have their structures, they can send it to whoever for verification until they okay or not okay. That used to be the process. Until at some point of the project, and all that, my requests have to be sent to the City of Austin, not in Banjul anymore.
Yes. Now, you talked about the periodic reports that you have to prepare after every phase is done and dusted with. It's completed. Now, how many reports have you had during your time?
They used to have a monthly report.
Who prepares this report?
I'm the project coordinator, not me.
Not you?
No.
Okay.
Project coordinator.
So they've had monthly reports?
Yes. He will prepare a monthly report, and finance will also prepare his monthly report. They will send it to the coordinator.
So you have nothing to do with the reports that are sent?
No.
How about the contract with the contractor for Crab Island? You have any role in that?
No.
You don't have any role
Because
in that?
normally when they are requested, like let's say didn't are done, so there need to be a formal request.
Right.
So it will come to me, then I will write the formal request.
Yes.
Like that's why I have a lot of emails here, which is normally, and my email normally have to the City Link coordinator,
right,
copy to the CEO, copy to the finance, and copy to the coordinator of Banjul.
Right. So go ahead.
And whoever yes, those are the people I normally copy. So everybody is in the know whether there's approval or no approval. So we are all know at the same time.
Okay. So the plan for Crab Island, it appears as if it was not possible for it to be implemented successfully.
Not the way we wanted it.
Why?
Because there were a lot of delays.
What kind of delays?
First, we had an issue with look at the timeline, when we got our appointment letters, it was during May.
Yes.
March. It was the second week the world went on a lockdown during the COVID. So this was a new the project team, not knowing each other. There's a complete lockdown, so we were working remotely. And by that time, all the structures were not in place. We didn't have the steering committee. City of Austin didn't come and pay a visit. And we as a project team also, and we didn't have all the induction we needed, from the city of Banjul. So it was like more of the first 2-3 months trying to put it up together.
Yes.
Because there was no structure, and there was no office for the project.
Yes.
We didn't have an office, we didn't have anything, so we have to be, we have to squat in one office, both the 7 of us with at the admin director's office. So basically it was not the ideal way of starting a project.
Okay, but you were there for 3 years, so did that situation continue throughout the 3 years?
No.
Okay.
Because then we continued, and we needed to put, as I said, those structures in place. Then we also needed to have the project concept, and this have to be sent to us through email from Austin at some point. That is the document I'm coming to share with you.
Yes.
This is where we even, as project staff, understood all the components, what needed to be done, And it never came from the city of Banjul because they didn't have this information either as well.
Why wouldn't they have the information if you were appointed in September, right? Mm-hmm. And you will have...
Not September, March.
March?
Yeah. Not September.
Okay, all right. In March?
Yes, please.
So why will it take that long? How many months were you in this situation?
I think
for how long?
It took us only, not very long, only for about 2-3 months before we put it all together.
Okay, all right. Now, you finally put everything together. So why was it still difficult to achieve the plan for the Crab Island?
When it came to the construction of Crab Island,
right,
we started, and Jalo Kolong, one of the contractors, was not performing very well.
In what aspect?
In terms of the building, the progress.
Yes, what was not being done very well in terms of the building?
The renovation, because what they have, we have two, we call them slots here.
Yes.
He have certain slots he's supposed to do. The other contractor have certain slots he's supposed to do.
Yes.
But he was seriously delayed.
By? Do you know the reason for the delay?
I think he was, my personal opinion, that the, how do you call it, the director of planning, who is an expert in that area,
yes,
will be able to clarify. But my opinion,
yes,
would be he didn't have all the workforce he needed on the ground to get the job done.
All right. And then when that could not be successfully executed, was his contract terminated?
Yes, but after a very long time and a lot of series of meetings, because they have to go through all the procedures, you understand, first warning, I can't remember this word, but the procedures of the terminating a contract is not straightforward, you know, so you have to establish all this. I can't remember, we had more than 4 meetings at a different time space, all about that specific problem. And
do you know how the contractors were identified? Did you take part in it?
No, but it was on the newspapers. Yeah, advertisement. A lot of contractors applied.
But so you don't know anything about the award of contract?
No, I was not in the country by then.
Okay. All right. And the second contractor?
It was all done the same day. It's during the same process.
So what I mean is the second contractor execute his terms of the contract?
Yeah, at least he, by the time my contract was ending with B.C.C, he was still with with B.C.C, and he seems to be doing better than the other, because the other one was, the contract ended. You remember I told you they stopped the contract.
Yes.
But this one was doing better than the first one.
All right. So for the 3 years, nothing could be substantially achieved with respect to Crab Island?
Crab Island, only the women garden,
yes,
as I said, part of the project, there was a women garden, and there was...
so what about the women garden?
They had what they call the urban women garden. It's a concept, and as I said, this concept came when they were developing the proposal.
Right.
You know, so everything that was available in Banjul which needed enhancing, so was captured in that project.
Yes.
And it was costed. That was the cost. That's the reason why the cost get to that level. So these women had a garden inside Crab Island at the back,
yes,
you know, and it was not doing very well. I think the project intended to support them with hosepipe, with the materials they needed, so that they can have livelihood there. So that was going very well.
All this were captured in the project document?
Yes, it is. Okay. It is.
All right. How about the greening of the city?
Yes, the greening had sub-activities under it. It's under the greening that we have the coconuts in the Banjul Beach. You know, that is one area. We have the mangroves at the other side, is part of the greening. We have the inner city where you have trees inside the city of Banjul. If you drive inside Banjul, you will see a lot of trees on the pavement. Yeah. So the greening was looking at those 3 areas because it has more to do with the environment, So it has specific issues to address when it comes to the environment. And
waste management and health?
Waste management is where you look at the dump site, fall under the waste management, and also cleaning of Banjul. What I mean, the trash, the bins, making sure that the trash are placed in the bin, and you have under the waste management, you have also given the workers the PPEs they require to do the job, and to ensure that they have some. Yes, those I think.
So who was the contractor for the waste management?
What do you mean contractor?
You don't have any contractor in relation to the implementation of this part?
Yes, for that
Any
one.
part of this?
Yes, for that one. Let's take it one after the other.
Yes.
When you come to the mangroves.
Yes.
This organization called WAPSA.
Yes.
were mentioned in the project document.
Right.
That they have a study and they need to achieve this, and all those things were mentioned in the
Right.
project document. So we had an arrangement with them. So
Yes.
it was their activity for the project to support them to implement that. So when it comes to we use the word inner city greening. I
Right.
mean for the trees inside. We work with this organization called Doc Banjul.
Yes.
So they become the lead in that area. So when it comes to the beach, okay, that one we had to recruit people, volunteers from the beach, because they had this concept. There are a lot of people, Banjulian, who love the beach. They spend all their days in the beach, So naturally, giving them that responsibility will create some area of income for them, and sustainability will be guaranteed because that is their home.
So for example, WAPSA, how were they identified?
I mean, it came from the project document itself. Like the project concept I'm coming to share with you,
Yeah.
if you go through it, you will see certain institutions were established that
Already.
they did this.
Okay.
So you understand? So the project came to enhance those things. So it was not like you have to, come and, start fresh. No, it was already established. Like when we get to the next one, which is health, the major hospital, not RVT, now they use this Francis Edward
Small Teaching Hospital.
Okay, exactly. So they were mentioned already in the project document and what they have been doing. So that's why if you look at even the costing, it's more straightforward.
Right.
Because it was already, the idea was already developed around. Yeah, so it's different from like the good governance, those things. It was like more open where you have to use your real-time situation
Yes.
to develop. So this is the difference.
Right. Now, we see that during the execution of your functions, once in a while you will write, you will probably request for payments.
Yes.
And payments would be done in your name. You've explained here that procurement with respect to the project was done strictly in accordance with the procurement rules and regulations, correct?
Yes. Can I say something further?
Yes, you can.
When we started the project, and I think up to at some point before we had a procurement from B.C.C,
Yes.
we were using the Prague rules.
You're using?
Prague rules of
Yes.
the EU. Because what we were made to understand that, until you have a procurement set of rules, Prague rule is what you are supposed to use. Those are the EU external funded guideline on how their funds are supposed to be used.
Yes.
So up to a level that I can't remember but you can use reference with B.C.C. They will give you those dates. And until they appointed procurement office or their procurement team started to take over.
So you're saying until you have procurement rules, you should adopt the
until
EU
yes, until
procurement guidelines.
B.C.C step in. Yes.
What do you mean until B.C.C stepped in?
With their procurement officers.
Right.
When we started, there was no procurement officer as identified to us.
Okay. So you had no choice but to
Use the
resort
EU
to the
PRAC
EU PRAC
yeah,
rules
PRAC rules.
with respect to procurement.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, for how long did this go on before they sent a procurement officer?
It took a while, but I'll not remember the dates. I don't want to lie. I don't know the dates. But it took a while, you know. So, but if you look at when they appointed the procurement, so you will be able to know the precise time frame.
They've always had procurement officer. Maybe the procurement officer was not, maybe they didn't probably assign you to work with the procurement officer or procurement unit, but they have always had a procurement officer.
It's a huge possibility, yes.
No, it is not a possibility, it's a fact.
Okay, I agree.
Right.
Thank you.
Let me show you some of the vouchers that are mentioned in your statement. We have voucher number 853-1090. And 499 and 865, there are 4 vouchers. For each of the vouchers, if you turn to the second page or thereabout, you will see, for the most of them, you will see requests that were raised by the project manager.
Okay.
That's you.
Yes.
Yeah, so these were payments made to you.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me have the.
This one? Yes, I know. Yes, I remember.
These were all in 2021, and the rest in 2022.
Yes.
By this time, you've already had a procurement officer already.
Yes, this time.
Yes.
2021.
1 and 2022.
Yes. Yeah. By then we did.
Yes.
Yeah.
We applied to tender 4 vouchers in payments made to the witness, Alfusainey Ganno, the then project manager. The first is voucher number 865. The second is 853. The third, 1090. And the fourth, 499 into evidence as an exhibit.
A payment voucher dated the a payment voucher dated the 2nd of August 2022 from Austin Banjul, from CityLink Banjul Austin. The voucher, this Mr. Jallo, these vouchers are not clear. Mr. Ganno.
Yes, ma'am.
These vouchers are not clear.
Can I see? I'll be able to read them out.
Let me take it again. The first voucher is dated the 2nd of August 2021 for the sum of $240,000. It's a payment voucher from CityLink Banjul Austin. It is signed by Alfusainey Ganno. The second voucher is dated the 10th of March 2022. It's a payment voucher from CityLink Banjul Austin for the sum of $58,350. This is also signed. It's signed by the project coordinator, the CEO, and is received by the witness, Alfusainey Ganno. The third payment voucher is dated the 10th of March 2022 from CityLink Banjul Austin, and it is for the sum of $68,000. It is received by the witness, Alfusainey Ganno. It is signed by the project coordinator, and it is approved by the CEO. And the last payment voucher is dated the 10th of November 2022. It's a payment voucher from CityLink Banjul Austin for the sum of $73,800, and it is received by Alfusainey Ganno. It is authorized by the project coordinator, approved by the CEO. These 4 payment vouchers are admitted together as exhibit in evidence, and they are marked as LGC/BCC/AG/003.
As the commission places. Now, why were you having payments done in your name?
There were a specific time. If we can go through them, then you have an activity happening right now.
Yes.
And we use an impress-based system where it is paid to somebody, you implement, and you do retirement with all the papers. Because sometimes how the project was structured was kind of very difficult. In a sense, you will have 4 activities going on the same time, and your line of time frame for reporting.
Please proceed, yes.
Time frame of reporting is so short. And maybe this will be, I don't know whether it will make sense, but it becomes so difficult if you're the project manager, you are overseeing the day-to-day activities of the meeting,
right,
or of the project, and you have a timeline, you have to report so that the next endorsement to come, and you have 4 square meter council office where you share with 4 people, the coordinator, the finance, and the secretary, all files, everybody going in and out. Sometimes you'll just sit in like this watching people because you just want to push everything, you get your job done. Monday, I know it's not related, I'm giving you a background,
yes,
so that you can understand how it works in time.
Please go on.
Monday, you have to have a staff meeting together with City of Austin, the coordinator, through Zoom. Tuesday, you are compelled to be at the steering committee between 11 o'clock, Tuesday, and sometimes you're there up to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wednesday is the only day you have to implement your activities and write all this report. And that Wednesday, because at some point City of Austin wanted to know every bit what is happening.
Yes.
they will compel me to be in a meeting with them, Zoom. We call it activity tracker reporting, weekly. From Wednesday, from 12 o'clock to, they wanted to say 2 o'clock. I say, it's not possible, I'm just human. We can just make it 1 hour, because they are the phone custodian, you owe it to them. Then, at some point, another day was added. That is Thursday, we have to have a steering committee meeting again. So, you have to do what you have to do to get some activities done. If not, you will spend only reporting, meeting, and the output will never be there. And you cannot go outside and explain it.
So as far as you're concerned, the structure was not really favorable to have most of the activities that to be carried out and monitored effectively?
Honestly, it was not.
And
honestly, it was
and
not.
Who do you fault for this?
I'll say the whole architecture, because it's in an ideal situation. You would have a steering committee which meet once every 2 weeks so that you prepare a lot and you present, it keeps moving. But you have no control over distance. You have city of Ostento. You have activity like the beach, which is the most dangerous one, the beach, all those coconut. They will come, mane budi nañ bena coco de wax nañ len ngeen indil ñu security lan ngeen. It's like, okay.
Can you please speak in English? You opted to give your evidence in English.
Sorry, ma'am.
So you interpret that and give us your evidence in English.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I'm just giving you a background of sometimes it was difficult to execute.
So what was BCC's level of commitment to the attainment of the goals of the project?
I would assume they want the whole project to be successful.
Everybody wants the project to be successful. Yeah. I mean, what I mean is not the intention, but I mean the actual commitment on the ground. You're working with them.
I would have said they could have done more.
They were not very committed.
Say that again?
They were not very committed.
I will not.
You are afraid to say that? You were the project manager. You do not seem to be very satisfied with the environment.
Well, if you ask me whether I'm satisfied, I'll say no.
Yes,
but whether,
are you satisfied?
Whether I was with the working environment?
Yes.
No, I was not. I was not.
So which means they were not very committed. If they were very committed, then they would have made the environment to be very conducive for you.
I'm not sure I'll be comfortable to use that word.
Why?
Just uncomfortable.
But why?
I would prefer using, I was not satisfied.
Okay. Now, voucher number 499.
Okay.
For the amount of $240,000.
Yeah.
Says payment made for allowance for volunteers for the distribution of waste bins. You raised this request, of course, for 5,700 bins.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you received this money, correct?
Yes, I do.
And yes, paid to you. So, how was this money spent?
I don't know how we missed the description. It's supposed to be the volunteers.
Yes.
The renting of the trucks.
Okay.
Maybe that was not mentioned there.
That is not mentioned here.
Okay, my
bad. It says volunteers for the distribution of waste bins.
And the renting of a truck.
We don't have that here. We don't have that and the voucher.
What of the write-up?
Let me give you back the voucher. You may probably guide us better.
Yes. Can I go through?
Please proceed.
Okay. I will just take you straight. Let me just read it so that we can.
Yes.
Okay. B.C.C has secured 5,700 bins from the City Link Banjul Austin EU funded project, and the Waste Management Committee of the Steering Committee have been tasked with the responsibility of distributing the bins to the community business facilities, Mile 2, Central Prisons, and Hamza Barracks. Scope: the distribution will include the renting of 3 trucks that would be used for the loading and transporting of the bins from McCarthy Square to the recipients. The bins will be distributed to these places, in bracket all the 9 wards of Banjul, Mile 2 Central Prison, Ndangan, and Hamza Barracks. Duration: the distribution will last for 8 days, and volunteers will start work at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily with an hour break.
Right.
Number of volunteers: 40 volunteers will be recruited for this activity. These volunteers will be divided into different groups. 15 volunteers will be responsible of loading the bins on the truck. 15 will be responsible of loading, while the rest will be distributing the...
That's the request.
Yes, that's the request here.
But that is not on the payment itself, the payment description.
As I said, I wouldn't know, because that is finance work. What I do is normally, I do the request.
No, I understand. We're just trying to, I'm not saying you're wrong. We're trying to have the information out. So what you have on the document prepared by finance is for what amount? The amount on the voucher itself?
It's 240.
For what? The description reads what?
Allowance for the distribution of the waste bin. Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Now let's go back. No, probably there's an error on the side of finance. But let's go back to the request. What is the amount? The total amount for the distribution of the waste bins and the hiring of the trucks. What would the total have been?
Yes, it should have been 360,000.
Okay, so that's more than what was paid for.
Yeah, I've seen your point.
You see my point?
Yes.
Now? Okay, so what was paid for would clearly be for just the distribution of the bins.
Yes.
And excluding the hiring of the trucks.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you were paid this money, what did you do?
This is an activity of the Waste Management Committee, headed by...
There's a Waste Management Committee?
Under the Steering Committee. So they identified 3 people to take care of the whole, this waste management bins issue.
Yes.
You know, the distribution, the identification of recipients and all those things.
Right.
Yeah. And the committee was headed, I'm struggling to remember his name. He is the advisor to the council.
Makumba Sane?
Yes, we call him Max. Makumba Sane, yes, exactly.
Or Max.
Max. You know, they shorten it to Max.
He is part of the steering committee?
He heads it. So he is the focal person for this activity.
Okay.
Yeah. So he does the identification of the recipients, I mean who received the bins.
Right.
He identified the volunteers. So this was everything around the bins from the procurement distribution was a B.C.C. function, not a project function.
What does that mean?
They took care of that element of the project.
But it's funds of the project, correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
But they took care of...
Yeah,
why would that happen? Why would they take care of this when you are the project manager?
I wouldn't know what is their calculus, but this was an activity from the procurement and all those issues. It was handled by them, and
should they be the one to handle it, or should you be the one to handle it?
In an ideal situation,
right,
it should have been the project. We sent it to the steering committee. We went through the structure,
right?
You know, but there are some activities that normally happen within them. So it's only our coordinator who got involved.
And so that is not the ideal situation.
In an ideal situation, I would say no.
Yeah, good.
You know, it will not be the best practice.
The best practice.
Yes, sir.
All right. And so, when you raised this request,
yes. So
go ahead.
So the funds,
yes,
were delivered to the former Director of Finance, Kamara, under Momodu Kamara. Yeah.
Momodu Kamara, yes.
Yeah, under the direction of this advisor, Max.
So
let me keep using the word Max, because if I use Makumba, I get lost.
Yes, you may. You have said that Max is the alias for
yes,
okay. The alias, for Makumba Sane.
Okay.
So you may.
So I'm fine with that.
Yes. Yes.
So it's like Max was present with the CEO, Mr. Bachili, and the Director of Finance, Kamara. So we normally hand them over to roll the program out after they're supposed to do their retirement and send it back to us. You know, so we give, it's like impress based. You give it to you, you implement and get us the reports, and we...
Yes. My point is now, as at the point that you were deciding as to how much should be requested, what would guide you as you being the project manager putting up the request? How did you come up with these figures and to justify payment of this amount?
Some of the activities like this ones, these decisions are taken at that level, not at our level. So the only thing I normally do is to check within the budget line if it is there, and normally I send, because normally when I do the request, I send it back to them. So they have to check if it is okay for them, but I will not get involved in those things.
But the budget would may not really, or the unit prices, were they all factored in the budget? All the payments that were done, for instance, the individuals to be paid, how much each should be paid, for instance, comprising of the amount of $240,000, would that be in the budget?
No, that would, it will not be specified in the budget.
Okay, exactly.
So what you normally look at, whether it will fit in the budget itself.
Yes, it fits there, but it may be an exorbitant amount to pay. That's my point.
Yeah.
So the budget may cater for, let's say, $100,000 for a particular activity, but that does not mean all must be exhausted.
Consumed, yeah.
Yeah, consumed. Yes.
I agree.
So what was guiding you in relation to arriving at a figure to be paid to each person or employee in relation to the distribution of the bins?
No, as I said, those were not my figures. So normally, it's the project coordinator with them out there make those decisions and check. And I would assume also B.C.C is doing this similar activities, so they will know their payment range.
But that's dangerous, Mr. Ganno. If you were to put up a request that you can't back figures, because if you put up the request wouldn't state exactly the source of your information, what would have informed you in arriving at those figures. So they would have, innocently, would have been the figures of the Makuma Sane, or Max as you call him, and the coordinator, and to whoever is involved. But if you were to put up the request now, you can't back up the figures.
True.
Can you?
True.
So probably would have been better to not raise the request, because it did not fall within they didn't pass through you as the project manager to coordinate this activity properly. So you will probably just be a courier.
I entirely agree with you.
Now, was the money paid to these individuals?
Yes, in its entirety.
No, you paid it to Makuma San.
No, what happened is we delivered it to the Director of Finance. He was involved, and Makumba San, under his directives.
Right.
Yeah, and with the then CEO.
Under whose directive?
Max.
No, but you are Makumba's, borrowing your words, Makumba's boss as a project manager.
No. It's vice versa. The steering committee is the board of directors. We are their staff.
You recommended for the creation of a steering committee, did you not?
Yes.
When you came as the project manager,
yes,
it was your recommendation.
Yes, it was my recommendation.
Yeah, you thought that it was best to have a steering committee. correct?
Because it will expose the project to risk if you don't have a steering committee.
No, I understand. I agree. You have a boss. You have a someone you're answerable to. That is the project coordinator.
Yes, yes.
But when you came, you thought there probably is the need to have a steering committee. Now, when you were employed, there was no steering committee.
No, there was not.
Exactly. So it is your creature, technically. So, yes, they are supposed to advise you. I wouldn't say you are answerable to them. Your TOR didn't say that. You are just, your appointment came first before the steering committee. So their function, as at the time that you were employed, would have been to just advise and guide in the execution of the project.
Yes.
Not to give you instructions.
Yes, I will agree.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. My understanding was,
Right.
anywhere the steering committee is like the board of directors.
Right.
They direct policies, you take, because we are working with a project framework.
I agree.
You take it to them, they look at it and even agree or disagree what you do.
100%.
So at certain things, even if you want to do it, it will be up to them to okay it or not okay. Because
100%, I agree. But that is if you've had a steering committee in place first, before you have your appointment as a manager. You understand that? Now, you were appointed, there's a project coordinator, there's a project manager. You are answerable by virtue of your employment, it's very clear, answerable to the project coordinator, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And then you thought, well, I need to have, it's best for us to have some committees also so for to better have an independent opinion or decision-making process to guide you better.
Yes.
So that becomes a post, an afterthought, a decision that was taken after your creation. It has nothing to do. Your employment terms were not changed when the steering committee was instituted.
No.
Exactly. They were not amended. So you were not answerable to them. You were there for them to guide you. So the structures are different. So if you had come in and you found a steering committee and you were told this is the structure, then that would have been the structure. Yeah. If you didn't suggest that there was going to be there is the need to have a steering committee, then you would have still been employed and working and answerable to the coordinator, regardless of any committee that was formed. Right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Right. Now, so you withdrew this money. So money was paid to you, and you paid it back to who?
The Momodu Kamara.
Momodu Kamara.
Under the instruction of
Makumba
Sane.
Yeah. Did they retire? You don't know.
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
But when I came here, I was informed that retirement was not done. So just to get my head off, I placed a call to Kamara and said, what happened? Retirement was not done. And I also reached out to Max to say, what happened? The retirement was not done.
What did they say?
Nothing, absolutely. I guess.
No, they must have said something.
No, actually, what they were saying is not like a solution. It's let's see what we can do. For my opinion, it was already late.
It was?
My opinion is already late. You are bringing Ganno, you bring in this when it's already late, and we have a lot of issues on our table. So you are not helping the situation. My opinion. They didn't say that.
Absolutely. So
my opinion.
So you cannot ascertain whether every dollar was paid for the intended purpose. You can't ascertain.
No,
that.
I cannot, sir. I cannot.
And the same with. Let me not say the same. We have voucher 853, voucher number 853. I will give it to you. The amount is $68,000. It says being disbursement for cost of purchasing materials needed to equip the beach base with tables and chairs and big water drums for the Kono daily watering.
Council, I think I know that one.
Okay.
I remember that.
All right.
I can remember that.
Please, can you go on?
This was an activity of the beach. You know, at the beach in Banjul, we have 5,700 coconuts and 1,000 of other trees, line up in the beach. So our volunteers there needed some materials, like the taps we have. There are times that the tap pressure, the water pressure is very, very low. So they needed
Yes.
how do you call it? I'm struggling with the word here now. Bargo in English, barrel, some barrels along, and hosepipe. And of course, it was the time that the mayor of Austin, city of Austin, was coming. So we erected waiting sheds where they can sit when the sun is hot. So they needed table, and I was told the mayor is coming, so these things were needed. So what happened is, most of these materials, there is no shop you can have them. Like you have this barrel in this second-hand shop, you go there and have some, those kind of impress. You buy here, collect receipt, buy here, collect receipt, and you do the retirement. So this was handed over to Sheikh Omar Cham. He was the beach consultant.
Yes.
But one thing I know, he retired, and those retirements were given to finance. That I can assert. But the funds were given to Sheikh Omar Cham, the beach consultant. He bought it, and it was visible, in fact, when the mayor of Austin was in Banjul.
The description says, the requisition for the chairs, 20.
Mm-hmm.
The unit price is $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Tables, 2, each for $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
The big water drums, 20, each for $1,800.
Mm-hmm.
And for transportation, $2,000. So for these unit prices, were they cross-checked? Did you verify to know or see whether you really had the best price for the what you were purchasing?
Yes, the water tank, they use this one, when you bring in second-hand material, the fugajai, the thick blue ones.
Yes.
Because we were told the barrels that we are first bought, after some time it get, the sand normally roast it.
Right.
So sustainability will not be guaranteed.
Yes.
So this one, they have to go to the Albert market and establish. So we were told the price, these were the prices. And I remember for the table is those.
Do you know whether you were having the best price?
I wouldn't know, but I was told this is what it cost there.
Told by?
Sheikh Omar Cham.
If he was misinforming you, by any chance?
I will not take a bullet for anybody. I wouldn't say it's not possible, but I wouldn't know. But I will assume, is the market price. Because many a time I don't normally even get up from my seats. When I sit in the morning, the only time I leave is to go to the mosque and come back up to 6. So yeah. I wouldn't go to the markets to do some.
That was why I asked that when you spoke about procurement, that there was procurement during this period. Why did you not request that these procurement activities follow the normal procurement process?
What happened was, I was not thinking on high side.
You were not?
I mean, I was not thinking on high side, like when you are comfortable thinking through. This is when you squeeze your time. Maybe you have only Friday and you are informed the mayor is coming next 2 weeks. You
do
want
what?
Say that again?
The mayor is coming to do what?
No, the mayor of Austin.
Austin, yes.
Coming for, I think he have, during my time, only one official visit.
Perhaps that's the more reason why you should do things right way. Perhaps that should be the more reason why you would have followed due process.
I would not disagree with you, but at that time I thought that was the right thing to do. Okay, we are raising this, go by and get all the receipt and make sure you send it to the guys. And they have the materials they need, because everything is delaying.
You will have paid more than you were supposed to pay for all these items. A big drum cost, the price of which is $1,800. I can guarantee you can have it less than that. You may not have an idea about that. It may be way cheaper than this. Is that not the case?
It's possible.
The chairs, for the type of chairs that were purchased, there's a high chance you may have it less than $1,000, $400, $500. I do not see the chairs. What kind of chairs?
They are very, very strong chairs because I was there when I was part of the team that escorted
New
him.
ones?
No, it's the container ones.
Used ones. You have these ones for $400, $500, my friend. All over. It was in 2022. 2023, still you have them for $500. I can guarantee you that. You walk
it was those strong ones.
Any container store, used items or goods, you have these chairs for $500, $600.
It's okay.
And this in 2022 would have been much more cheaper.
It was those big chairs with some arms where you put your arms.
Yes.
I think you can picture it, and with a long conference table.
Mr. Ganno, you live in this country.
Yeah.
Is that not the case?
Absolutely.
You know, you leave people with money, there's a high chance they're going to have a good bargain and have their cut in it.
It's possible.
You know that. So why would you take the risk of just raising money and giving it to an individual? Why would you do that? Is there any reason why you will do that? But it's not like as if you don't live here with us.
I didn't hear you.
It's not as if you don't live here with us.
Yes, I live here.
So why would you do that? Why would you take the risk?
As I said, at a high side, I would not have think that way. But at certain time, when there is a lot of activities going, you don't have time to look at everything through. You know, you have those kind of situations when you are more focused on getting the work done, you know, so that at the end of the day, you will have certain success rate when it comes to the project output.
Oh, that's not success. The project for the EU project, in my opinion, appears to be a failure. Yes. It appears to be a failure. You can say otherwise. You can say that is not the case. You are the project manager. You are here for 3 years. You can tell us why it is not a failure and what were your, over a scale of 100%, what is your success rate? But from what we have know for now, individually I speak, it appears to be a failure. 1 or 2 or 3 components may render success, yes, but as a unified project, it's a failure. That's the truth. Or you disagree with that?
I would disagree.
Crab Island is an entire failure.
I would disagree. It was delayed, seriously. But I haven't visited, but I was told the project was delivered, finally. But I know there are certain components which did very, very well. Maybe it is not reported here. You didn't have the opportunity for people to come and showcase it.
No, the report will come. You will provide the report, and you will guide us probably through the report, perhaps, and tell us where you have rendered success.
I don't have a report. What report? I said the concept, the project concept.
No, the 3-year period you were there, there must have been certain components that were executed under your watch, no?
Yes.
Yeah, so you may guide us when we have the report to know exactly which components you've executed successfully, and perhaps that may convince people, but that's it. Now, the other voucher as well, 865 for the amount of $58,350 is the description of which reads being disbursement for the cost of materials and labor for the covering of the 3 waiting sheds at the beach. Do I give you this voucher?
Yes, I need it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, so what can you tell us about that payment as well?
This was the beach.
Yes.
We erected the 3 waiting sheds 3 sets, where they keep their material like the hose pipe and watering materials they need. And when the sun is very, very hot, that is where they rest. So we have 3 of them. So what happened was we provided material for them. The volunteers who were on the beach are the ones who did the laboring. So we have a lot of the men, people, Banjulian, who normally be at the beach. Some of them are skilled carpenters. So I remember the project coordinator from Austin, who is so fond of most of these people. That used to be a place he frequently visit.
Yes.
So there was a suggestion to provide materials for them so that they can get the job done.
Yes.
So what we did was we raised an impress, and I remember giving it. I'm not 100% sure of this, but I would thought the same guy, but I'm not 100% sure with this one. So I need time maybe to think
Okay.
through. So, but one thing I know, it was like the voluntary job. You give them the material, they build. So it was not like a contractor coming to build it. So, because there was also at some point, I remember the idea of sustaining the beach came to get those people, because they are volunteers. You're just giving them, I cannot remember the figure. It was either 5,000 per month, which was
How did you purchase this material? The timber, the bamboo, the paint, and so on and so forth.
Yes, now I remember. Sir Omar is the same guy. So he normally purchases.
What's the name?
Sir Omar Cham.
Okay.
Yeah. So he buy it, take it to the beach together with these volunteers. They
It's not a volunteer. There's a payment made. $17,000 is for workmanship.
Yeah, we compensate them because it's 3 sets. If you look at also the amount.
What do you mean you compensate them? If someone volunteers, you don't compensate them. What do you compensate them for?
Yeah, no, normally, coming also from Red Cross background, we have a lot of volunteers, but sometimes when they do something good, we compensate. We use the word compensation.
But it's not used here. It says workmanship.
Yeah.
That will suggest payment.
Yes.
Yes. Workmanship suggests payment.
Payment, okay.
You don't agree with that?
No, I will agree.
You don't agree?
I say I'll agree.
Yes.
I agree.
It suggests payment.
Yes.
So if you're using the word volunteering now, it will be a new word added to the document.
No. The volunteer, what I mean, the people who are there are normally volunteers.
Yes. So who was paid?
Yes.
Chairman was paid?
For this one, yes, they were paid.
Yes. They were paid for this one. So
yes.
Again, the figures here, you cannot verify the figures. You did not have any. You did not seek other, let's say, were you given an invoice? No invoices for this, for what was purchased, the timber that was purchased, the bamboo that were purchased, the nails, the paints. You don't have, let's say, counter invoice to see whether you can have a cheaper price.
No, that was not done.
That was not done.
No.
Any reason? Is this the same reason?
No.
Or what was the reason?
No, I said it was not done. So the same thing was done, like the other procedure you get, and when you come, you get us the invoice and the receipt and the materials, And
so if you pay more than you were supposed to pay, you would not know?
I would not know.
Why would you do that? As an experienced project manager?
The same conditions, sir.
Let's do with the last one. $73,800 says being disbursement for the cost of provision of materials. 150 long sticks at $100. Chicken wire.
Nets, wires.
Net wires.
Yeah, net or wires.
Yes, $2,000, 2 rolls. Binding wire, $650. 100 bags of black soil at $100, and transport to $25 for the inner city 3 fencing. So you're paid $75,000 for this.
Yes.
Again, the same procedure.
Yes.
The figures here cannot be verified.
Yeah. But this is not because they have been doing it before, not under our project, this one. Yeah.
What have been doing what before?
Banjul have some trees before us. Yeah.
Yes.
So they fence it, but this is a program which was rolled out by Doc Banjul. Okay.
Yeah.
Their coordinator. Afterward, what they had was to buy this long sticks, $100.
Yes.
Yeah, you will cut it, and then you put 4, because we find that to be way cheaper. When we ask for the ready-made, there is a ready-made basket which you can use for protection.
Right.
Those were way, I think about 50.
They were way cheaper than the ready-made baskets.
It was about way high. The ready-made one.
The basket.
So then Jonas came up with this idea. These guys are Banjul, they are the one. Let them do it for themselves. Let's just buy them the material, the stick which is 17,000, everything, and they go and spend a whole weekend to do the work.
So who bought these materials?
Saul.
You didn't take part in buying the material?
No, it's Suleiman. He's the Doc Banjul, but the surname I cannot remember it. But
so if Suleiman is paying $50 for a stick, you would not know. You would not have an idea about that.
No, but I would have. Yes, I would not know.
You were given receipts?
Yes.
Of all this?
All this I require a receipt.
If they were falsified, you would not know as well?
No, I wouldn't know. I would definitely.
Mr. Ganno, you're making your job look as if anybody can do it. It has to require a certain degree of due diligence. Is that not the case?
I'll agree with you.
That will have separated you from the normal person in doing this job. That was why you probably would have been appointed if there were other competitors. So why would you do this as if you are not an expert in this job, as if you don't know what you're doing? You commit funds like this, payments are made, and in your name, and you don't even check as to the actual prices for these payments. You authorize payments as well. So the figures would have been really, there would have been serious overpayment with respect to this thing.
Yes, I agree entirely.
Procurement, my last question on this. Procurement were present. Why did you not use them?
Most of these the activities, like I'll give an example. Let's use that of the Doc Banjo,
right.
the inner city. So because it was like they needed stick. These are activity that you need and you want it to happen so quickly.
Right.
So you are so overshadowed that, so it will naturally occur to you when it is like a structured program, like let's assume buying of a laptop and things like that. You need specs, you need all those to go through it. So you will get you will push it, to procurement. And normally it is not then you will push it to procurement to do all that. But when it come to the daily running of those kind of activities, getting the job done, normally you are so focused on having the activity gone, then most of the time you miss some elements of like procurement here and there and things like that.
Because when you classify this as impress in the beginning, this would not be an impress. You understand?
Okay.
Or you don't understand. An impress, because you were given the exact amount of money that you request, because you know exactly what your expenditure would be. You see, you know what I'm saying? You have your financial outline. You know you need $10, you request for $10. That is payment. That's not an impress. An impress, you would perhaps have a deficit that will be outstanding. You know you need to do XYZ, you request for $300,000 to exhaust your activity. If there's any outstanding balance, you return it back. You wouldn't really have exact figure of how much you may be spending. You may have workers going, volunteers that you want to probably compensate or maybe give them honorarium, so on and so forth. You request for an amount. You don't know how many will turn up. And then you end up having 50 people you decide to pay, you give each $100, you have your change and you retire. That's retirement.
Yeah.
But not when everything is preordained, predefined, pre-planned, everything you figures you know, no dollar is outstanding. But when we say retirement, all I say here, people bring to you, is the exact amount of receipt for the exact amount of money that's given. That's not an interest.
Yeah.
That cannot be an interest.
Okay.
That's the issue. So everything's preordained, pre-planned, premeditated. You understand that? Whereas that will defeat the purpose of an impress. An impress would suggest that you don't really know exactly how much your expenditure would be. Is that not the case?
Makes sense.
Yes,
yeah.
that's how it's supposed. That's the intent of the law in relation to impress. To solve a problem that is urgent, and an emergency problem, an urgent problem, when you have to have cash in hand to do the expenditure and then account afterwards. Yeah, so Mr. Ganno, I will move you forward to the commissioners to ask you questions, but ideally, I think we've asked the questions we need to ask you for now in relation to these vouchers. Any questions too?
Yes. Mr. Ganno.
Yes, ma'am.
What is the counterpart funding for this project?
The counterpart funding is 100. Get the right.
If you cannot recall,
no,
please note.
I have it.
Yes.
Is it okay? Just 1 second. Just 1 second. The counterpart from Banjul or Austin, which one? We have 3 players here.
Wait, can you listen to me? You are the project manager, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was a project grant from EU, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you are aware that there is counterpart funding for the project grant, correct?
Yes, yes.
So now I'm asking you, what is the counterpart funding for the project grant? You are supposed to tell me, not
Yes.
me telling you. Yes.
Yes, I know. I want to clarify something
Yes.
so that the answer become a correct one.
Yes.
There are 2 counterpart funding.
Yes.
Banjul chip in, Austin chip in, together
I'm
towards.
asking you the Banjul.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
The Banjul one is 7,805 euros.
7,000.
7,805 euros.
Now, was that counterpart funding paid?
Not to my knowledge.
As the project manager, you did not know whether the counterpart funding is paid?
No, you will not necessarily know sometimes.
Why?
Because finance and project
That
coding.
will not be correct, Mr. Ganno, because as a project manager, you are in custody of the budget, and you are working in close relation with the project coordinator.
Yes, that is
who
correct.
is Mr. Jassy, is that correct?
That is correct.
So you will be in the position to know whether that project, that counterpart funding is paid. So please confirm, note and confirm for us when you come back whether the counterpart funding was paid. Please note that. And my second question before I hand you over to the other commissioners is please provide for us all the other MOUs that were signed with other partners under your management. For example, WAPSA, etc. You have different units, different organizations that had MOUs with the project.
Yes.
Provide us with the details and provide us with payments made to those institutions, because you will have the information therein. And my last question is, the 2.2 million paid to Jeddah Trading, what was that about? Did you note what I told you lastly?
Yes.
The different MOUs that were signed, which you were managing, because there were different components. And one of the the partners did explain the reason why they could not execute their own side of the project, because there were some delays in the execution of the Crab Island project activity.
Oh, okay.
I believe you have had that evidence.
Yes,
Is
I
that correct?
have.
Yes, so please provide us detailed information of all the MOUs that the project signed, that which you oversaw within these 3 years that you served. Because we know there are more than 3 that they signed with different components.
Yes.
So please provide for us.
There are
and
some,
we have seen the amounts of money you have mentioned being paid to those
partners.
Yes, so please provide detailed information for that.
Okay.
And now tell us this 2.2 million payment to Jidda Trading, what is it about?
Okay. First, with the MOU, I'll try to get the most latest.
No, not the most latest. You worked as project manager for 3 years. You will be able to get the information for us. Please note it and we'll find out. If you have difficulty, you will come back here and explain why you couldn't get the information for us.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right?
Okay,
so
thank you.
please note that.
Okay, that's helpful, ma.
Yes.
All right. So coming
Now
to
you tell us this Jidda Trading issue.
the Jidda trading,
Yes,
specifically to what payment?
the 2.2 million.
The PPCE or?
Well, I am
No,
asking you.
I didn't
want
see.
you
I
to
didn't
tell
see
us.
the.
No, I am asking you. This you were managing the
Yes.
project.
The Jidda trading, I think it have to do with the PPEs. That's why I want to be clear on what I'm
If you
talking.
are not clear,
So
of
what is happening
sorry,
is.
Sorry. If you are not clear of what the project is about, please note it. So when you come back, you will clarify for us and let us know whether you were aware of the procurement that was done for the 2.2 million payment.
That's what I want to clear.
Yes.
And the whole Jidda issue was not clear to me as a project manager. Because what happened is, and Jidda, we were informed in a steering committee meeting that they are procuring some PPEs. You know, I think it was during the COVID area and all those things. But that activity itself was done by B.C.C, not the project team. It was done by B.C.C. They did the identification, they did the, they did the procurement, the delivery was done to them, not us.
Was that from the project funds?
Yes, it was from the project fund.
So how can they use the project funds without you knowing?
Okay, I will clear this. Yes. The funds of the project is lodged in B.C.C.
Yes.
We are not in custodian of the funds itself. The signatories were the CEO and the director of finance, not us. So
and there is no tracking system for you to know how the project funds have been spent? Is that what you are telling the Commission?
Absolutely not. I think there was one payment, I don't remember this payment, but finance, when she come here, there was a payment we know about when we were having our monthly reconciliation and sending the reports to Austin. So meaning, even funds can move, you as a project manager, or you will not know because you are not the
Okay, so please note to give us the reconciliations that you have done over the period on the activities that you have done.
I don't have that. I don't do, it's finance who do the reconciliation and send, and the project coordinator. They work together and send to City of Austin. What I do...
Are you copied in those?
No, I'm not.
You are not copied?
I'm not.
Now, how much loan did you take from the project funds, you as project manager?
The figures, I wouldn't...
Write it down and let us know all the loans that the project
No,
officers...
it's only one, ma.
No, I'm talking about all the other staff. How much loans did they loan to project staff during the course of the project?
Apart from the loan that we all took, I'm not aware of any, because I wouldn't know.
No, that is what I'm saying. I say you provide for us detailed information of the loans you took from the project. That is the different people, the different staffs for the project. Please note that one down. Please note the loan. You said you took one loan.
Yes.
Yes. What you do is provide us with the information of loan that was disbursed to other staff members, including yourself.
For myself, ma, I'll be able, but for other staff, it will be difficult, because that is finance. It's not my job.
All right.
it.
That's fair enough.
So I don't want to say anything that is not right
Yes,
here.
provide us with what...
Mine?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. That I can.
Yes. And the Dudo Technologies, do you have any idea about that?
Yes, he bidded for...
Did he deliver on what was contracted to him for the website, building of the website?
The end result, I would say no.
What
No.
did you say?
I would say no, because the purpose was to build up a website which could be accessible, interactive, and people could get information. But it was not online, so it was not available.
So what did you do about that? Did you report? During the course of your quarterly reports, did you report
Yes,
that this was not done?
It was discussed even in 2 of our...
And you have minutes of meetings of that been discussed and highlighted? After payment has already been done?
Yeah, the steering committee meeting, the secretary will be able to provide that. So, and one thing in our tracker, I mentioned about between us and Austin, the weekly tracking meeting. So it is highlighted there, so I will provide that. You will see it is visible there, where it is reported that it is not done.
Now, in your payment logs, was the support for the flood victims, was it part of the payment logs that was provided for in the project documents?
It was not within our project framework, no.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Mr. Ganno.
Yes, sir.
This was a project. Was there a felt need by the Banjulians that this project should come into place? Did the Banjulians express that we want this project?
I wouldn't know, but I am with the opinion that Banjulians were so much in need of these gaps. That's why that project itself was developed.
Say it again.
I said I wouldn't know exactly to the question, but I am with the opinion. It was the need of the Banjulian which resulted to this project.
But you cannot confirm that there was a felt need expressed by the people of Banjul.
I wouldn't be so specific about this, but I'm still with the opinion, because if you read the project concept, it is like the gaps that are available in Banjul. How do you get to the gaps? So it must be out of a study or a survey or interaction with the Banjulian. Somebody somewhere must have established this we are needed. These are the issues that are needed. So I will believe it is out of that background that generated this project itself. So I would say yes.
Let's go back to some few things that we discussed with lead counsel.
Okay.
The first thing, you talk about a bike repair. Is it up and running?
At some point it was in Crab Island, yes.
Is it up and running?
Now I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
What of you mentioned turning tires, something like that?
Under the weak women in...
These women,
yeah.
are they doing that?
They started. Whether it ended, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
The radio station?
The radio station. The time I was leaving the project, the Crab Island was not completed.
So the radio station... Now, let's get to the...
I wouldn't know whether it is, but I saw on Facebook, they launched the radio station, so it's up and running. I would assume, on Facebook.
I should expect you as project manager to know whether you've left or not. You should at least show some level of interest. That's my view. Because it is your legacy. Because if you have to write your CV, you said that I've established this, that, and that, and that. But if you cannot establish that it was a project that I was managing, but for the activities, I'm not sure if they have taken place, where does that leave you?
Yes, Commissioner, I can understand the disconnection you are, but Maybe that's what lead counsel wanted me to answer at the start, is why didn't you want to extend at the first place? So I just felt I have done what I could do under those conditions, and I just...
And you believe you've done your best?
I know my best is not enough. Looking at what I could have done,
good.
I would agree with you, sir.
Yes,
on that.
the answer is good enough.
Yeah.
Now, the multipurpose hall, can you tell us what facilities are in that hall?
Right now?
At Crab Island, yes.
No, as I said, since I finished the project, I didn't step my foot in.
What was in the project document, do you know?
The project document, it was supposed to have a multi-purpose center for Banjul, where you can have a lot of activities. And at the adjacent, you will have the radio station up and running, so they can all correlate. Then you can have also the recording studio somewhere else within the same area, so that you can see all these three have some correlations. So they will be within that side.
Who is supposed to manage these activities? The radio station, the recording studio? Was there an organization identified to manage it? Because and how professionals and qualified were they to do this?
Because the project idea would have been, by the time you finish, you're going to recruit a very, very good and professional people, and you are going to have a coordinating team, board, whatsoever, who will oversee the day-to-day. But this way, we're going to be people that understand the issues very well. You know, people who will help to ensure the outputs are achieved. So that was something that the project intended to look at. Whether when it finished, I was not there, it was done or not, I wouldn't be able to answer. But that would have been the ideal situation.
Okay, let's come to the contractors now. Did you do due diligence of these contractors before giving them these contracts? Was due diligence done?
I was informed all the contractors who applied, you know, and they were scrutinized, they were checked, and all the due diligence were done, and that is the reason why they finally settled for these two out of all the lot. So
now, I agree with that, but who was the consultant for this project at Crab Island? Who was the consultant?
When Crab Island started, yes. It was one Mr. Usman Job. He was the consultant.
Usman Job?
Yes. No, not the Usman Job. No, Usainu Job, sorry. Usainu Job. He works at, he have a background in the ferries. He was a consultant there, somebody, but his name is Usainu Job.
He's a consultant?
Yes.
Registered?
Yes.
Doesn't he have other work to do? Doesn't he work in another institution?
I think as a consultant, he have other jobs
no,
as
doesn't
well.
he have a permanent employment in another institution?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know?
I don't know.
And you didn't check as project manager?
No. To do a background check on him.
Yes, as consultant, whether he has a permanent employment in government institutions.
No, that I didn't do, but I think procurement, they did. I think they did.
No, I'm talking to you as
me as
manager.
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
I didn't.
So you are not sure if he is not employed somewhere full time?
Because it was not my function to do, you know, all those, everybody come in to do due diligence. So something is when it have to do with the construction, you have the director of planning and the procurement, they do the consultant, the vetting and the background. Okay, but all this also were reported in the steering committee, so we naturally we should all be informed everything that is happening. Okay,
but in actual fact, I should have thought that you as project manager should have been able to do your own due diligence, despite that there is a steering committee. You are the implementer of the project.
Yes.
You manage the project, you handle the project. It's under you.
I agree.
Now, why was the contract for the other contractor, what's his name? Jalon Kolong?
Jalo Kolong.
Jalo Kolong. Yeah. Why was he terminated?
He was not performing according to the timeline and everything. He was way behind time.
Do you know how much he was paid before the termination of the contract?
No, I wouldn't know. But finance have those figures.
Okay. Now let's get to something else. You talked about termination of contract being a cumbersome process. It's not. You sign a contract, there are termination clauses. You just terminate. It's not rocket science. You don't even need to have a meeting. When a contract is in delivery, you just terminate. So, now the women garden. Have you visited the garden?
When?
At Crab Island?
Since I left?
No, whilst you were there.
Yes, I do.
And they were producing?
Yes, they
what?
were. Okra, and there were two other things, because at some point they brought some to B.C.C, they were selling it just to showcase.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
How many women are involved?
I will list with the Crab Island coordinator. Commissioner, you know, Crab Island itself had a coordinator whose mandate was to ensure all this happened day to day.
Who was this coordinator?
Jaga Samba. So he was stationed at Crab Island. So my office was at B.C.C. So I'm the project manager, but Crab Island was not like my day-to-day activity. There is a complete coordinator who runs it. But that is not external me from Crab Island. As the project manager, I have to communicate. But he will be able to provide those data to you.
Please.
Okay, sir.
And WAPSA, have they reported to you how many acres or hectares of land they have planted these mangroves? Have they given you some kind of a map or a drawing or a calculation telling you this is the scope of work we have done?
Yeah. Normally it will come in their report. So what they normally do is, before the request for the next the quarterly payment, the requirement is they have to submit an activity report and the financial report. So,
okay,
but
who does the inspection of the ground to verify that?
Our field supervisor.
Who is he?
Mr. Mbuguma Jeng. Because when they are implementing this activity, he is always on the ground to take pictures. And we had also a very active Facebook page. So this didn't have to be sent there for our social media outreach.
Okay, my final question.
Okay.
Do you think the project has been successful, with all honesty?
That's a tough one, Commissioner. That's a very tough. There are components which I say we should not be proud of, you know, with all honesty. But yeah, you know, hands down, it was that certain area. But there are certain areas I think did also very well. Like if you go to the beach, you know, the coconuts, those are...
let's confine ourselves on Crab Island.
Crab Island, until the time my time was finished, it's not something I was proud of.
Okay.
Yes.
Now,
that's the truth.
You manage this project, and certainly there must be mechanisms put in place for the evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. Is that put in place? Do you have an idea as to what is put in place for its sustainability?
Yeah, the monitoring bit was done by the city of Austin. Okay, their project coordinator have a regular field visit to the Gambia. Okay, and also we have two other elements of reporting. You know, we have the ROM, which was a monitoring mechanism put in place by the EU. Understand? So at our level, what we did was also we have this weekly monitoring and evaluation, all the reports where we checked it. You know, but at council level, there was no monitoring mechanism at the other side. But at our level with the EU, we had our own monitoring mechanism.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
But we've been signaled that it's time. But just a quick one. It seems as if administratively there's a big hole between you and the Austin people.
Yes.
Because monthly reports, you are not involved. but it goes to the Austin people. And the Austin people don't get back to you to say X, Y, and Z is not performing. So you just leave it like that with them, for them to make that decision. But you are the one implementing any decision. So you should be the first person to have a report of the project, whether it is successful, whether it's on time, or whether it's having some difficulties. But you cannot sit here and tell us you are not involved, even though you are the manager of the project. I think that is a fallacy for us to sit here and believe that you don't have anything to do with the reports. You don't even see the reports. Do you want us to believe that? If it was your business and you leave it with somebody else, would you allow this type of behavior between the person that you have left the business with whoever is overseeing it, and you? You would want to know. So why not use the same principle to be on top of things? That's my observation, that there is a big gap of reporting between you, the Austin, and B.C.C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Council, are you done with this witness?
I believe he has something to say. I have 2 or 3 questions, but after break.
After break.
About 2 questions,
I have one question.
Okay.
I want you to quickly answer. The 7,805 euro that is paid for a stipend. Who was it paid to? 7,805 euros was paid as stipend to a volunteer. Who was it paid to?
Can I see reference, because I have no recollection?
No, I'm asking you to give us information.
No, because I have no recollection of what.
Okay, think about it and find out. 7,805 euros was paid as stipend to a volunteer. All right?
In the project?
Yes. Okay, I can further assist you. Have you come across PV, payment voucher, payment voucher 499, PV 499? I think that would be helpful.
PV?
499.
499.
Yes. When we come back, so you can think about it. When we come back, you give us response to that. We may rise for break.